B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach. Shalom everyone. Tonight we are celebrating Lag BaOmer. So this is the holiday of Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai, the rabbi that wrote the Zohar, Kabbalah, and let's learn a little bit about that day. So first of all, what is Lag BaOmer? Lag means 33. BaOmer, we're counting tonight we will count 33 days, and therefore it's called Lag BaOmer. Now, why is it? What does it have to do with Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai? Why is it sort of his holiday? So Hachamim tell us that on that day we go back to the period of time of Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai. That was the day that the students, remember, Rabbi Akiva was the rabbi of Rashbi, the rabbi of the Zohar, and he lost 24,000 students from Pesach until until Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer. So he lost 24,000 students, and he was left with only 5. The Zohar was one of them, and we'll talk a little bit later. We'll talk about Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi, that was also one of them. Altogether, as we said, he had 5, and they retaught the whole world the whole Torah. So, and we will understand a little more why is it such a happy day, that also why the Zohar had to reveal all the stuff of Kabbalah and so on and so forth. So, as we said, what happened on that day, what are we doing? What are we supposed to do that day? So practically, we should light a candle for Rabbi Shimon Bar Yohai, La'ilui Nishmat Rabbi Shimon Bar Yohai. Bar is the son in Aramaic. We say Ben. We say Avraham Ben or Yitzhak ben Avraham. So this is Bar, but it's the same meaning. The father of Rabbi Shimon that we're talking about was Yohay. So we call him Rabbi Shimon ben Yohay, Bar Yohai. And then we will, since he revealed a lot of Kabbalah that day, I will share something beautiful to take for us, for our home, that has to do with Kabbalah, and it's will be a beautiful Minhag, and I hope if you adopt it, you'll benefit from it, your children, your parents, and all our families. Now, so we are going back to the time that he lost all the students, and then since there was from 24,000 you go down to 5, you have to make sure that a lot of things are not going to be forgotten. So we have 2 things that happened at that time that are very very important. The Mishnah that we learned today is called Torah shebe'al peh, oral Torah. If it's oral, how come it's written? Here in the library we have the Mishnayot, they're all written. So before that, before Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi decided, he saw that everyone is going to forget it. Nobody can do what those 24,000 students were able to do, to keep it like from generation to generation, to give it to from one another by heart, orally. So he decided that it has to be written, and he wrote all the Mishnayot. What are Mishnayot? Those are laws, halachot, that Hashem gave Moshe in Sinai, and they were given from generation to generation and were kept just by heart. Until, as we said, Rabbi Yehuda HaNasi decided that it's not going to be kept properly and it has to be written down. It's not allowed to do it. It says that you're not allowed to put on in writing whatever is supposed to be given orally. But the world went down spiritually, and therefore he had to do it. So Rabbi Yehuda is one of the 5 students that was left, and then we're going back to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yohai, that he revealed Kabbalah. What does that mean, that he revealed Kabbalah? There are a lot of secrets that are, again, being passed on from generation to generation orally, and he wrote the book of the Zohar. That does not mean that he invented it. He just, of course, he revealed it to people that didn't know, because all those 24,000 that passed away knew, but there was no one to keep it going. So he just have it written down so it's not going to be forgotten for the next generations. So one of the things that it says in Kabbalah, and I think it's a beautiful minhag, we should all adopt it. Some probably already do it. So it says in Kabbalah that every Friday night, parents, that is much more common, that parents should bless their children. It's very common that the father does it. A little bit less common that the mom does it, but she should do it. But what I would like to speak about is the children. A person that has his parents alive, especially his mother, should go and kiss his mom's hands Friday night. It says about both parents, but it says will be frat, especially his mom's hands. This is the one that, although the father is outside making parnasa, making a living, bringing life to the family, feeding them, beautiful. But the moms, we could talk about it another time, but they have a lot of zechut in raising the children, being with them, and actually doing the work with them. We can bring up a lot of examples, but we'll leave it at that. If you can just adopt this beautiful minhag. Now, when to do it? It's important to do it after we do kiddush. So you do the beracha on the wine Friday night, and then everyone is saying, like I have seen like a few families, they say Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Father should remember to bless his children. Children, make sure to kiss your father's hands. And the mom also, it could be a small little thing, whatever you wish for your child, that they should be raised peacefully, for, find their zivug time, be healthy, all kind of what a parent is wishing his child, that, should follow the ways of Torah and so on and so forth. So it's very important, again, as we said, it's a little bit easier to kiss the father's hand, but make sure to kiss mommy's hands as well. Now, some people will say, it's a little bit hard to start new minhagim, and how am I going to go into it? And it's a little bit... So now, if the moms or the parents and the children are hearing this, so they're going to cooperate, they're going to make sure it's happening. The first Shabbat or two is going to be a little weird, but then it's a beautiful thing that happens every Friday night in their home. But let's say even if the parents are not there, you could start in a soft way, maybe tell them about it a little bit before, prepare them. That's a very good idea. And then when Friday night comes and do it in practice, it's a little bit embarrassing, especially I think for certain people will be embarrassing, but make sure to do it. The first time will be hard, second time 50% less, and then the third time is just going to be your minhag in your home, something that you're used to be doing. Now I want to go back. So we spoke about Rabbi Yehuda Nasi that wrote the Mishnah, and we spoke about Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai that wrote the Zohar, revealed a lot of Kabbalah, and the fire that we do is just like because he brought light to the world. So we do big fire in order to show that he brought a lot of light to the world, and therefore in the land of Israel, especially in his grave, we do a big deal about it, and that is the reason why. So Kabbalah brought a lot of it's very important to say just that Kabbalah is not what we think. It's a lot of secrets of Torah, and you can, if you want to just have an understanding, it's like being part of the Mossad. There are many things that are hidden that not a lot of people would know. Nobody will tell them. Only whoever was in the army for a long time, then he gets involved. Is that the same thing nowadays? We can learn Kabbalah just from anybody. You can go straight to the code. You can't start building a bomb. Just you have to be prepared. You have to go through a lot of things. Those things are delicate and dangerous. And Kabbalah as a whole, we can talk about it like what it is. There are a few sides to it, like a practical Kabbalah, more what it says behind the words of the Torah. We'll talk about it, Be'ezat Hashem, one day. Now, so we're going back now to the rabbi, the teacher of Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai, and Rabbi Udanasi. Who was that? Rabbi Akiva. Rabbi Akiva was very, very interesting character. He was 40 years old and he was a shepherd. He was a shepherd, but he was a good man, good-hearted guy who fell in love with him. Before you know it, the daughter of one of the richest men in Israel. She saw him and she said, "Dad, I want to marry this guy." So what? This guy? I thought all these years, I thought, you're gonna get this rabbi of the son of this big rabbi, the son of this other big businessman, just like us, this, that. Dad, I want to marry this guy. And she is not giving up on it. He said, "Listen, you're free to do whatever you want, but if you are going with this guy, as you could leave the house the way you are, you're getting nothing to do with my wealth, and you're not getting anything from me." She loved him enough, and she did it. And she said, she went to Akiva, and she told Akiva, "If you go and study Torah, I see your heart. I see what you can do." And look, she was right at the end. Look at the end, she got everything. "I see what you can do. If you go and study Torah, I will marry you." And he promised her that he's going to leave his job and he's going to study Torah. And the Gemara says the story that she came from a wealthy home. He had nothing. They used to sleep in the I don't even know, I forgot the name of the place where they store the food of the cows. So when they go to sleep at night on those straws, it would get in her hair. And it says that he would clean her hair and tell her, he was telling her, "A day will come and I will buy you Jerusalem of gold." Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, the song Yerushalayim Shel Zahav, this is the source of it. Jerusalem of gold. It was a certain jewelry that only rich people could afford. So he promised her, he says, cleaning her hair, and said, "A day will come and I will buy it for you." Okay. So years go by. This Akiva goes to study, and he knows nothing. He was a shepherd. He didn't even know how to read and write. So what did he do? He went to an ulpan, but there was no ulpan back then. So he went to study with Aleph Bet, with little kids, 5-6 years old. They see all of a sudden this guy, he looks older, he's studying Aleph Bet. They made fun of him. He went back home. He was such a good guy. He couldn't take it. How could you make fun? What? Those kids are not taught. They're not well taught at home. How could they make fun of somebody else? He couldn't. So what did she do? She took a donkey and she put a plant with a little bit mud on it, and she went down the street, down the block, up and down. And the first day, everybody is laughing, happy. Look at the donkey with the plant on its back, and look at the donkey. Okay, they go back home. The second day, she does the same thing. Yesterday, 100 people were laughing about it. Today, only 50, because some of them already saw it. Some of them was not funny anymore. And only 50 people were laughing. The third day, 20. The fourth day, 10. And a week later, nobody is laughing. No one sees it as something interesting or laughing anymore. She told him, "Akiva, look, they're gonna make fun of you the first day, the second day, the third. A week later, they're gonna get used to it, and then you're gonna make it work." So he listened to her, and he went back to work, and he went back to study Torah, and it says that 24 years later, he came back home, but he came with 24,000 students back to his city to greet his people, greet his wife, and was away for many years. And it says that this Rahel, his wife, her name was Rachel. Rahel wanted to come close to him. So the students were pushing her away. "What are you doing here? You can't come close to the rabbi like that." So Rabbi Akiva, now he's Rabbi Akiva, he tells him, move away, because mine, he tells the students, mine and yours, he says mine and yours is actually hers. And this is we learn two things, that when you want to do a new thing in the house In the beginning, it's a little, you're uncomfortable doing it. But as we said, first Shabbat is hard. Second Shabbat is going to be 50% easier, and then it's going to be as just a beautiful thing to do forever, and for your parents, your children, yourself, everybody. And we'll conclude with, and then the second thing that we learn is, of course, what she did, and then there is a happy ending to this story. He saw, of course, her father saw who Rabbi Akiva became, the biggest rabbi in the world. So, of course, he gave him a share of his wealth, and they gained sort of this world and the world to come. Now, I would like to end with saying the halacha about not shaving. So this whole topic is, people find it a little bit difficult to understand. We're talking about Holocaust. We lost 6 million people. 6 million people. We do almost, can't say nothing, but Memorial Day. We do like, okay, standing, reading Tehillim. But here you don't shave for 33 days, and you mourn on those people that are not even our relatives more than we mourn on our parents. Because if you think about it, parents is only the first year for 30 days. Second year, nothing. They can go up to the grave smelling good, dressed, shaved, going just for a memorial event, the Yortzeit. So here, every year we're mourning. So it's very, as we said, if we think of Rabbi Yehuda, Anasi that wrote the Mishnah, Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai, Zohar, people like that type of people, 24,000 of them that we lost. It's a terrible thing. So it's not the number, it's not the quantity, it's the quality. You can explain it a little more. That one day I visited a place and somebody said, "Oh, you're from Israel." So I find the state of Israel very very interesting. So he says, "Why?" I told him why. He said, "You had a prime minister and a president in jail." And he's right. We had these two in jail. He didn't speak about thousands of other prisoners that we have in Israel. He spoke about these two people. Why? Those two people represent the country. They're famous. So here we see also the 24,000 rabbis, that such a thing happens to them, that they're dying because of not respecting each other. This is much worse than things that are happening. Like the message of it is much worse. So in order to avoid it, what do? We remind ourselves. At least if you're a person of Torah, you have more responsibility. If you're a person of the public, if you get paid by the public or something, like, you have to be an example. So this is why we mourn them more than others. Plus, of course, the times is changed. We can't do today. We cannot have like decrees today, like such effective decrees that are combining and obligating like they had there. It's just not, it's different. Today each community has their own rabbi and he has to follow the rules of the Torah, but no other communities have to follow a decision of a different rabbi. So this is what an exile does to Am Yisrael. We have, and we're going to talk now about difference between Sefaradim and Ashkenazim. This is also separation for hundreds of years. There is results. So we're talking about shaving. So for Ashkenaz, they can shave already tomorrow, maybe from tonight, but tomorrow for sure they can shave. Sefaradim wait until Lamed Daled, not Lad, which this year is going to be Wednesday, so we wait one more day. Now some people say, oh, what's the difference? Oh, so let me be Ashkenaz this time. Okay, remember, if you're Ashkenaz, during the summer, they also have again 3 weeks that they don't shave, but Sefaradim do shave. So all I can say is, if you stick to a minhag, no problem, but go with one minhag all the way. Not one day like this, one day like that. I hope that helps. I wish you all happy Lag BaOmer. Only good things, lots of lights in your home. You can light a candle, for sure, light a candle for Rabi Shimon Bar Yohai, for the Zohar, say a prayer for your family members, for Am Yisrael, for the whole world, for the country you live in. Be grateful to pray for the state. And Be'ezat Hashem, only good things and good news. Baruch Adonai La'olam. Amen ve'amen.